I can still taste the fear in the back of my throat. Every time I close my eyes, I see it. My own hands, covered in dirt and dried blood, shaking uncontrollably. 2 weeks? I was lost in that forest for 2 weeks. And I honestly believed I would never make it out alive. It all started as an ordinary hiking trip. I've always loved exploring, the thrill of discovering hidden trails and quiet corners of nature that most people never see, but I never expected the forest to turn on me. The first few days were bliss. The air smelled fresh and clean, and the leaves rustled with a soothing rhythm. I felt completely at peace, unaware of the nightmare that was about to unfold. On the fourth day, I veered off the main path, thinking I might find a shortcut to a nearby lake. I must have taken a wrong turn because I went in circles. My GPS stopped working, probably due to the thick canopy blocking the signal. By the time I realized how lost I was, the sun had sunk behind the treetops. That first night, I remember every sound: twigs snapping behind me, the wind whistling eerily, and a distant cry like an injured animal. It echoed in a way that made the hair on my arms stand on end. I tried to set up a makeshift camp, but I hardly slept. I was convinced something was watching me from the trees. When morning finally came, I felt a surge of relief. I told myself I'd find my way back, or at least stumble onto another trail. But the forest seemed different. Places I'd passed the day before looked twisted. Familiar trees were nowhere to be found. I felt as though the forest was alive, shifting and changing just to keep me trapped. The real terror set in on the sixth day. My food supplies were dwindling. I rationed as best I could, but hunger clawed at my stomach. Thirst was even worse, making each step feel heavier than the last. My muscles ached and my lips cracked under the harsh sun. I tried to follow streams, hoping they would lead me to civilization, but they only led me deeper into the wilderness. That's when I started seeing things, or thought I did. Flickers of light between the trees at night, a figure crouched by a rock. Once, I swore I heard footsteps right behind me, but when I turned around, there was nothing. My heart pounded so loud, it felt like it would burst from my chest. By the 8th day, my legs were covered in scratches and insect bites. My face was sunburned, my clothes torn and filthy. I was delirious from dehydration. I found bitter berries that I prayed weren't poisonous, because I had no choice but to eat them. Around the 10th or 11th night, I heard a scream like nothing I've ever heard in my life. It cut straight through me. I froze in place, too terrified to run, and too fearful to face whatever made that sound. For a moment, I thought it might be the last thing I would ever hear, that it was the sound of something or someone dying out there, and I might be next. I tried to sleep with my back against a tree, hoping for some sense of security, but I swear I felt the bark move. It was like the entire forest was breathing in unison. My mind was probably playing tricks on me, but it felt so real. I jumped up, my heart hammering. Every second, I was sure I'd see a shape lurking behind the trunks. Still, I kept moving. I told myself there had to be a way out. If I stayed put or gave in to the terror, I'd die. My will to survive was the only thing stronger than my fear. On the 13th day, I finally reached a clearing. I couldn't believe it. Open sky, a patch of sunlight, and a faint trail of smoke on the horizon. It had to be from another campsite or a cabin. Hope surged through me, something I thought I had lost forever. I used every last ounce of strength to follow that thin line of smoke. It led me to a small ranger station, miles away from any main trail. I collapsed at the doorstep, barely able to speak. The rangers found me, gave me water, patched up my wounds, and called for an evacuation. I was safe. I was rescued. But even now, late at night, I hear those distant screams echo in my head. The forest changed something in me. It latched onto my soul. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I see shadows moving at the edge of my vision. And I wonder, did I really escape that place? Or did some part of me stay behind in those dark woods forever lost? Be careful out there, because once the forest sets its sights on you, it never truly lets go.
Have you ever experienced something like this? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more terrifying stories. And remember, some nightmares don't end when you wake up.